I read Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery when I was quite young. It was an influential novel for a lot of reasons. After reading it, I realized that I too could be an author, that the names on the books were of real people. But that's another story, and that's not why I want to talk about Anne today. One of the things I loved about Anne of Green Gables was that I was intrigued by Anne's ambition. Ambition, it's a great word. It was new to me back then. Remember, I was quite young. I loved that she had an ambition to be a writer, to want more for herself. I loved her ambition and the word and idea of ambition so much, I made up a song about it. I taught it to my brother while we were on a family vacation. It was one of those question and response type songs. It went a little something like this. I've got an ambition. What's your ambition? I've got an ambition. What's your ambition? Stellar, right? I mean, where's my Grammy? So while my song never developed beyond saying I had an ambition and being asked what it was, the second step in the Atlas framework does just that. Over the next couple of minutes, I'm going to cover the second step of the Atlas framework, aspire. What is it? Why is it important? And what is the biggest mistake writers make here? Like any good travel plan, once we know where we're starting from, we need to decide where we're going, what our end destination is. What we have at the start will, in part, determine where we go and how we'll get there. Aspire, then, is the end goal, your ambition. Whether you're sitting down to write for the first time ever or the first time today, knowing where you're going means that all your effort, all the writing and learning and editing you do moves you towards that end goal. It prevents you from writing aimlessly without purpose. What is your big picture end goal? What is your vision, your greatest achievement? Is it writing an Oscar-winning screenplay, a bestseller, having a line of fans waiting for your autograph at your book signing, your grandchildren celebrating your book? Aspire is also important at the start of each writing session. It is setting your goal for the day. Will you write a new chapter? A new scene? What is going to happen to your characters? And what action will take place in your story? Giving a purpose to your writing makes a world of difference when you sit down to write. You want to be writing towards something. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be public. But you need a reason to sit down and write. It can be anything like wanting to develop a skill or explore an idea. Without purpose, you will lose interest. When you lose interest, it doesn't matter how much you love the characters or the story, you're not going to write. So what is the biggest mistake when it comes to aspire? It's picking the wrong destination. How is that possible? By ignoring your starting point. Look, I love tennis, but I can't pick up a racket for the first time today and aim to enter and win Wimbledon next spring. Not at my age and lack of hand-eye coordination. Now, if I were a kid who actually had some skill in tennis and some training, maybe it would be a potential end goal. Now, thankfully, when it comes to writing and publishing, age isn't so much of a factor, and we have the ability to learn new skills. In your assessment, you will have written down what you like to write. Don't aspire to win a Hugo Award if you don't intend to write science fiction or fantasy. Aspire to have a self-publishing empire if you're willing to put in the work, both as a writer and as a business. So you're here because you've told me you have an ambition. It's my turn to ask you, what's your ambition? Let me know in the comments, and maybe we can find our own verse to the start of my song. Up next, I'll be going over approach, the third step of the Atlas framework. Until then, happy writing.